Hi everybody and welcome to a brand new episode of Video Game Dad, the show that just can't stop monkeying around. I'm the VG Dad and this of course is the VG Kid. When we played Donkey Kong Country 2 last week, I spent a lot of time talking about Donkey Kong Country 3 and why I felt the former is the superior game. It's something that I feel strongly about, but I understand that some people are going to disagree with me. And that's fine, but you're wrong. Rather than continue to fight about it on the internet, I figured, why not draw the closest comparison possible by just playing the game? Today, we are playing
Donkey Kong Country 3!
That's right, today we are playing Donkey Kong Country 3 for the Super Nintendo. Are you ready to get started?
Yeah.
Alright, let's get to it. Another Donkey Kong game? But VG Dad, you just played Donkey Kong Country 2. What are you doing? Well, I decided that since I talked so much about Donkey Kong Country 3 in the Donkey Kong Country 2 playthrough, I figured that we could go ahead and do a double header. We'll do a kind of a...
It's called Double Trouble.
It is called Double Trouble. That's just a happy coincidence. But I thought, since as much as I talked about it and how much I talked about how, it's not a bad game.
1, 2, or 3?
I don't know. Which one do you want to do?
1.
You want to do one?
Starting.
I never noticed this, that these are actually VHS tapes, which I don't expect you to even know what that actually is, but we're sticking the game into a VCR. So we're gonna just do a one-player game, just because that's what we do. Oh, I forgot you actually get to enter your name. I remember as a kid renting this game, there were definitely people that named the games some naughty things. So what do you want to name our file?
Cat 3.
Cat 3. Okay, sounds good. I'm not sure if they have numbers. We'll find out. Cat. They do have numbers. Hooray, Cat 3. All right. We're Cat 3. And we just popped the tape into the VCR. So this is kind of what I was talking about this is kind of what I was talking about with Donkey Kong Country 2, is that this is more like an open world, like it's still mostly a platformer, but there's more like open worldness to it. Now I found life too hectic at school with all those alright. If you need to save your game, Dixie, call here anytime. And I'll record your progress on my new VidMe What's-It machine for you. And look, she's got a Nintendo 64 in the background. That's pretty silly. Alright, Cat 3, 0%. We're making great progress already. So yeah, Donkey Kong Country 3. This kind of picks up in the same vein of where Donkey Kong Country 2 was, where Donkey Kong got captured. But now in this one, Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong got captured, so it's up to Dixie Kong to save them. Hello there, young Dixie. My name's Bazaar, and this is my general store. All my brothers are scattered over these islands. Pop in and say hello if you meet them on your travels. How may I be of assistance? Let's see, tell me about the shell. The shell was found at the bottom of Lake Orangutangup, and it's pretty rare. 5 bear coins, it's a bargain. I don't have any bear coins. I don't have any darn bear coins. So this is another thing that I was talking about. Like, this is more what makes it open world. Like, there's this collectible thing.
When he opens his mouth, he looks kind of weird.
He looks kind of weird. So anyway, like, there's all these collectibles that you have to get, and like, there's this whole trading sequence that you have to go through in order to get, like, there's something that you need to get in order to proceed through the game. But then there's also this, like, you upgrade your boat, and then there's like different little caves that you can find. Like, there's a whole bunch of like different open world stuff to do. I've also brought your excellent cousin Kitty Kong. He's a dumb baby. He may be a toddler, but if you let him throw you upwards, you'll almost reach the stars. Oh yeah, okay, so that's nice. It's basically just telling us kind of stuff we already know. And then, like, this is the other thing, like, the first Donkey Kong Country 1 and Donkey Kong Country 2, like, they just dump you into it and it's like, boom, time to play. Whereas this game, there's all this, like, running around and, like, figuring out how the world works. And it's this whole thing. So this is one of the little caves. And in these caves is kind of a Simon Says game. And it's more collectibles. There's so many collectibles. All right, what were you going to say, kid?
I'm in 2nd grade now, and VG Kid 2.0, aka Kaylee, is in...
She's in pre-K. Yep, she sure is. And I'm still 32. I'm not in school. All right, so we're going to go to Lake Orangutangup. So like this game, like it takes forever to get started. Like we're already 5 minutes into this game and we're only just now getting to the first level. All right, what would you like to say, kid?
If you were, we would not be alive.
Yeah.
And our channel would not exist.
Yep, that's true. Well, not necessarily. I mean, people do adult education. Like, Mommy went back to school for a little bit. She got an associate's in something. I can't remember. But this is another thing that, like, I have a lot of gripes about this game. Like, this game, it just, like, the music, the background background music in this first level, it's just like, burpity boop, time for another adventure, burp-a-derp-a-gerp. Whereas, like, in the first game, it's like, oh, hey, what's the... Yeah, we got to push A. It's telling us again. So this is actually kind of a cool thing that you can do. You can toss Kitty Kong up, and then boom, he smashes into the ground, and you get a bonus barrel. Boop, doop, boop.
50 stars?
Yeah, we got to get 50 stars. That's not too hard. It sounds pretty intimidating, but they're all just like right here in a cluster. Like most things in games, like they get harder the more you go in. I'm not worried about it. They get harder the more you go, but... No worries.
8 seconds?
Yep. And then this is the other collectibles, the DK coins. There's so many collectibles in this game. And again, like, this first one's pretty easy. You just bonk him and then you get the DK coin. And then, like, with those bonus stages, like, that first one was pretty easy. All the stars were just right there. And, like, there is a good sense of progression. Like, overall, the game, it's a competently designed game. There's a lot of things that I don't like about it that I just much prefer Donkey Kong Country 2 or even Donkey Kong Country 1. Dadgum.
What's that?
We've played both of those games. Like, we just played Donkey Kong Country 2 last week, and we played Donkey Kong Country 1 like a year ago. I mean, I did mention it in the episode that was the progenation of Cool Banana. He came about from the first Donkey Kong Country game, and that was a little bit more than a year ago that happened. You want to give it a try, the second level once we get through the first one?
Yeah.
Yeah? Alright. That sounds like a good idea. You can kind of look and get an idea of how the game goes, and then I'll pass it off to you. Normally, I like giving you the go right off the bat, but this game, like, there's a little bit more to it to this game.
Get you a more
Yeah,
banana.
bump.
But why are the bananas green? Maybe they're not ripe yet.
Maybe they're not ripe yet. So this is another thing that's like kind of a throughput of all the.
Again.
Yep. This is another thing that's just a throughput of all the Donkey Kong Country games. Is you get animal buddies, and this one I can't remember her name. I think it's probably just Ellie the elephant. But then you get bear coins. Hooray! And then the flag, like when it's limp, it tells you that you haven't gotten all the secrets, and then it'll have a little yellow flag that shows you got the DK coin. There's just a lot of collectibles in this game, and like as much as I complain about it, it's not that I don't like open world games. All right, you want to go give this a shot? It's pretty simple. You played Donkey Kong Country 2 last week, so you can play this one. All right, give it a shot. So what you got to do in this level, and like that's the other thing about this.
Jump?
How do you jump? You push this button.
89?
Yeah, we've got 89 bananas. That's a common thing in games. If you collect 100 of something, you'll get an extra life. I'm pretty sure that Super Mario Brothers started that. But it carries out in like other Nintendo games, and like in Sonic, you get 100 rings and you get an extra life. You got to jump off that bar, kid, and go see what there is. Just jump and then run, because that door is going to close. If you jump and push to the right, you got to hurry because the door is going to close. Ooh, good job. Oh, watch out for the mouse. He got you. But hey, you were just in that barrel, so no worries. And so that's the gimmick of this level, is there's doors that you've got to open. And that's the other thing about this game, is that like there's a lot more gimmicky levels. Like there were definitely a number of them in Donkey Kong Country 2 and Donkey Kong Country 1, but like this game is all about the gimmicky levels, and there's a bunch of gimmicky bosses too, and there's just like if I could...
I'm gonna try 4 more times.
How about you try 2 more times?
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, like honestly, if I could sum this game up in one word, it would just be gimmicky. Because like there's so much to it that's just like, here's this new thing, and here's this other new thing, and there's so many different things that you can do, and look at all of the things. And in spite of all that, like the gimmicks are well, like the game is good about kind of telling you what you need to do organically. So like it's still a well-designed game. I don't want to make it sound like I don't like this game, because I do enjoy it, and it is a fun game, and I enjoy playing it. It's just like, compared, especially to Donkey Kong Country 2, it's definitely like this weird outlier. Okay, so watch out for this rat. You gotta jump on him. Great job. Great reaction. Okay, now if you pop that, you'll get Kiddy Kong. So now you've got a second hit. And that's the cool thing about the Donkey Kong Country games, is that they kind of have this built-in mechanic. And I remember, like, I watched a video. There's this really cool video series I recommend checking out by a YouTuber by the name of The Geek Critique. And he did a whole series on the Donkey Kong Country series. A whole series on a series. That was a good sentence. You got to go back and hit that lever. You got to jump on it, and you got to actually move pretty fast to get that door. Okay, now you got to run. Move quick. Watch out for the rat. Oh! Oh, wow, that's annoying. Anyway, there's this really great series about the Donkey Kong Country series on the Geek Critiques channel. And he does kind of talk about, like, going into dissecting and talking about, like, a few of the things that I've kind of touched on, but like he goes into greater depth about like why this one in particular stands out as like being not as good as its peers. And like I said, it's not a bad game. It's still a fun game. It's just because it has the Donkey Kong Country name on it. Oh, and that was the other point that I was trying to make about, I think it was in his series. You want to hand it back to me? It was either in his series or it was in a Did You Know Gaming video where it talked about the reason that in the original Donkey Kong Country they came up with the idea of having two Kongs is they wanted to have that mechanic kind of like how they have in Super Mario, where, you know, you get a mushroom and then you've got a second hit, and they wanted some way of showing that without it being like ridiculous. And so they came up with the idea of having the second Kong character, and that's basically where this whole mechanic of having two playable characters came about.
Cause yellow.
I wouldn't put it that way, but sure. Okay, now we gotta watch out for these guys. And that's the other thing about this game, is that like it's got a more cartoony vibe to it, which normally I'm all about. But they take, I don't know, this game is just definitely, it's more
To collect 60 stars again.
Yeah, I gotta collect 60 stars. It sounds like a pretty big number, but it's not too hard. They're really generous with the time limit.
Uh-oh.
I'm not too worried. I think we got it. Get the thing. Yes! Okay, and we got a bonus coin.
Yes!
And so like there's just oh my gosh, there's so many collectibles. Like I didn't even talk about, because like you were telling a story when we were getting the banana birds, but those are another collectible.
What banana birds?
That was when we were doing that, when we went into that cave, we did that kind of Simon Says game. You didn't really see it, but if we've got enough time, we'll go out in the overworld and I'll show you. But like we collected a banana bird, and it's exactly what it sounds like. It's a bird that is also a banana. It's really very silly.
One of my classroom friends named Dylan said he has a pet banana.
That is very silly. This Dylan sounds like quite a character.
No, he's a real friend of mine.
I know, honey. A character is just something you say. It just means that they're kind of a silly person. Oh, dang, that bee totally got me. These bees don't look very menacing, nor do these rats. They're kind of doofy.
If you mess with these, they sting you.
That's true. That's mostly wasps, that if you mess with them, they sting you. Bees leave you alone as long as you leave them alone. Because bees are just kind of happy.
Snakes.
Yep. Most wild animals are that way. But like bees, like honeybees, they're pretty happy to just kind of bumble along and be bees, and they're like, hey, I'm pollinating this flower, don't mind me. I'm your friend the bee. But wasps are like, oh, you looked at me? I'm gonna sting you 1,000 times. Because wasps are jerks. Here's I can actually show you right here. Here's Wrinkly's save cave. So when you get all the banana birds, oh, we didn't get the DK coin either. That's a bummer. But see, that guy right there, he's a banana bird. I love this bird that you found. It's an energetic little thing, isn't it? Would you like to save your game? Yes, I would. And there's gonna be another little bear house. We can show you it's Barnacle's Island. What's Barnacle got to say to me? He's got a banana bird too, and I think I just exited before I think that you have to buy the shell from the other bear, and then he'll sell you the banana bird. Hello there, how's it going, kitty? Barnacle's me name, and I've set up home. Oh, okay. The bird is a friendly fellow, isn't he? He flew up once, so I decided to keep him. Yep. Yeah, see how he's got shells like there on the shelf? That's kind of supposed to be your clue that he needs shells, and then if you went and talked to that first bear, you'll know that he has shells. And so we've got to collect 5 bear coins so we can get the shells. A little bit confusing, huh? Yeah, but the problem is I don't have...
A is for Allison and Apple.
That's true.
And Ann.
Yep. But I don't have my friend. I don't have Dixie Kong, so unfortunately I can't get that one. I can go back and get it now. So let's see. So yeah, kind of going back to what I was talking about earlier, like the overall aesthetic of this game, like it's definitely a much more like goofy looking game. It's more kind of like bubbly and kids and like, whoa, there's a wacky kids adventure. Go. And I think that's part of why I don't like it as much as the other two. Like, not that Donkey Kong Country 1 or 2 are necessarily like dark and gritty and brooding and blah, but like they're not quite so, I don't know. It's just, the aesthetic is just a little bit more goofy. And I think it's because this was a different dev team, if I recall correctly.
I'm still 7.5.
Indeed you are.
I haven't had a birthday yet.
Yeah, your birthday is not until...
But VG Kid 2.0, aka Kaylee.
You don't have to say AKA every time, silly goose. You okay?
But she goes by Kaylee.
That's because that's her name. I need a fish. Where's my fish bro? Ow! Well, that's not what I wanted. You know, I keep going off on these tangents. We were talking about the banana birds. And the banana birds, like, they're another one of those collectibles. But you actually have to get all of them in order to get the true ending for the game. Can you? That's cool. You have to get all of the banana birds in order to get, like, the true, real ending for this game. Because, like, that's a thing that, you know, there's bad endings and good endings and fake endings and real endings. And this is one of those games that does that. And I think you have to get all of...
normal endings and weird endings.
Yep. I think you have to get all the DK coins to get all the good ending, and you have to get all of the bonus coins as well. Like, there's a bunch of different caveats in order to get the full true ending. And I know one of the other things is in order to get, like...
This is the last Donkey Kong Country game, right?
It's the last Donkey Kong Country game on the Super Nintendo. The series was kind of dormant until, I think, on the Wii with Donkey Kong Country Returns. But there's, well, no, that's not true. I guess Donkey Kong 64 was kind of like a spiritual successor to Donkey Kong Country. Like, it's Donkey Kong Country in everything but name. So let's see. Hope to see you later, kitty. Alright, thanks, Funky Kong. But I know that, like, I'm pretty sure it's all the bonus coins. You have to get all of them in order to unlock the secret island. So we're going to go to Bazaar's General Store, and I'll show you about the trading sequence thing that I was kind of talking about. Let's see. What does he have to say about the mirror? It's no ordinary one, though. It was Cranky's great-grandfather's. I can't let it go for less than 50 coins. Wow, that's ridiculous. I think if you give him something else, he'll give you the mirror. Because he's like, whoa, this is amazing. So we're gonna take the shell. I would like the shell. Give me the shell. Give it to me. Now you've only got one bear. So who owns the castle? Well, I ventured up there once, but if you want to know what I discovered, it'll cost you 2 coins. I don't have 2 coins. Goodbye. So eventually, we'll be able to get an upgrade to our boat, where we'll actually be able to drive over those rocks. Like right now, they're kind of blocking us off. So like, it's kind of an open world game, but it's also kind of not. Uh-oh, did I get stuck here? Well, apparently I'm Austin Powers today. But eventually, yeah, you'll get like a little motorboat that goes over the rocks, and then you get one that goes up waterfalls. I think there's another step in between there, but I can't remember what exactly it is. I don't know, it's this whole thing. This game is a bit of a thing. Okay, so we're gonna go here. We're gonna give Barnacle the seashell, and he's gonna give us the banana bird. And you know what? That might be a pretty good place to end it. Getting another banana bird. Does that sound good to you?
Yeah.
What a beautiful shell. It's just what I need to finish off me collection. Say, kitty, would you swap that shell for my bird? Arr, that I will. You would? That's great. Here's the bird. Please take care of him. I definitely gave him a different voice, but now I decided he's Mr. Krabs, apparently. Okay, sweet. So we did that. And so now, when we go back to Wrinkly's cave...
We don't even watch SpongeBob.
No, but I know the characters. So now when we go back to Wrinkly's cave, she's got 2 banana birds. See, there's one flying around and there's one sitting on the back of her chair. Oh, Wrinkly's asleep. I'm sure she won't mind if I save my game, though. All right, so let's save our game. And then we'll call it an episode. We'll see you guys in the outro. Okay, so after a little bit of time with Donkey Kong Country 3, what did you think?
Good.
And is there anything that you liked about it?
Jumping on the bad guy.
Okay, is there anything that you did not like?
Nothing.
All right, fair enough. So what kind of rating do you want to give to this game?
I don't have a rating.
No rating this week? Okay, fair enough. I stand by what I said last week. DKC 3 is not the best of the SNES trilogy. I want to reinforce that just because I think DKC 2 is a better game does not make this one a bad game. It's still enjoyable despite its flaws. It's still the same goofy gorilla antics, but it just doesn't have quite the same polish. It feels almost like a cheap imitation of itself, with a handful of eye-grabbing gimmicks to sweeten the pot. Honestly, if it was a game under a different name, my feelings may be completely different, but because of its pedigree, it's hard not to look at it with a far more critical view. Well, that is all the time that we have for this week, guys. As always, we hope that you enjoyed this episode, and if you have not already,
subscribe, and you'll find out who the new player is soon.
That's right, hit that subscribe button, and we will see you guys next time. Until then, keep playing.